Hi guys, today we are going to talk about a very lovely book called The Prisoner of Tehran, a memoir by Marina Nemat, Iranian author. I bought this book from a bookshop in Toronto, Canada when I had gone there in 2013. I read it once but I forgot what happened in it, so I read it again a couple of days ago and it was lovely. I loved this book like anything. In the beginning, the author Marina Nemat talks about how she comes to Canada on a sunny day in 1991 with her son, and her husband. And then what happens is that she tells her story. The story is that in 1982. Marina Nemat was a 16-year-old girl who was a Christian girl. She was Catholic. She used to read Western novels, and she was really into books and literature. One day, she was at her house when the secret police of Iran came and abducted her. This was in 1982 when she was only a little girl, only 16 years old. The Shah was being overthrown by the Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran. And they were chanting slogans, "Death to America, Death to America." And there was just chaos everywhere. And then what happens is that Marina Nemat is captured. She is basically in love with a boy called Andrew. She is sent to this book is based in Tehran, Iran. As the title is there, Prisoner of Tehran, a memoir by Marina Nemat. It's basically a true story actually. What happens next is that she's sent to Iran's most notorious prison, where she is tortured and treated very badly. What happened next is that she meets some of her classmates who are her friends and relatives in the prison who have also been sent there to be tortured. She hears the screams of people who are tortured and badly treated over there, and she does not know what to do. She goes through hell, and the whole world should know that what living conditions there are in the Evin prison and how the government tortures its people. Okay, so she badly wants to go back to her family and friends and relatives, and she misses her house a lot. She cries, and then what happens is that she misses her boyfriend called Andrew, who she was in love with and wanted to get married to. What happens next is that there's a guy who works in the Evin prison called Ali. He is basically a Muslim and he is friends with the Ayatollah Khomeini government. And Marina Nemat has gotten a death sentence. So what he does is that he reduces the death sentence to life imprisonment. But Marina Nemat would rather be dead or commit suicide than to spend her whole life in prison. So he then forces her to marry him and convert to Islam and become a Muslim and marry him. She even gets pregnant and has a baby with him, but the baby passes away. That's what happens in the book. What happens next is that she's still in prison and she can't get out because she's been condemned to death by the Ayatollah Khomeini. As I told you before, that the Shah was being overthrown by the Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, and they wanted a Muslim government following Islam, and that's what happens in the book actually. And then what happens is that finally Marina Nemat gets out of prison after spending, I think after spending some time in the jail in the Evin prison, and then the guy Ali who wanted her to convert to Islam and wanted him to be his wife and gave him a baby passes away, and his parents treat her okay, and then she gets out of prison finally, and she marries the person she loves, who is Andrew, and then they want to escape from the country. They do not want to live in Iran anymore because it's not safe for them, it's dangerous for them. Their lives are in danger and under threat. What happens next is that they want to immigrate to some other country. So what happens next is that Marina Nemat and her husband wait for some time, and then they immigrate to Canada. They go to Toronto, Canada, where they start living. They go to Canada in 1991. Actually, let me see where they go to Canada. They arrive in Canada on the first. In the beginning, she says that there is a Persian proverb that the sky is the same color everywhere, but the Canadian sky was different from the sky in Iran. She arrives at the Pearson International Airport on 28th August 1991, and she finally has the courage to tell her story to the whole world. She has 2 sons and starts living in Toronto, Canada, and then she gets married to the love of her life, who is Andrew, and then she had the courage to tell the story of her tortures to the whole world, and she escapes from the prison in Iran, and then she finally writes this great memoir, Prisoner of Tehran. I love this book like anything. It was very well written, and it's one of the best memoirs I have ever read. I read it within 2 to 3 days. It was so well written and it was really interesting, and you cannot put this book down, guys. It was amazing. Based on a true story about all the torture she had to go through in Iran because of the Ayatollah Khomeini government, and how she had to suffer, how she escaped to Canada, how she started a new life in Canada. She had 2 sons. She had another son later. So with her 2 sons and husband, she lived in Canada, Toronto, Canada, and she then had the courage and the strength to tell people her story and what she went through, to tell the world the unspeakable tortures that happen in the prison, even prison in Iran. And this was what the book was all about. It was worth a second read, actually, because I had forgotten what happened in it. So I love this book like anything, and I think the author has written another book, I think so, and I would like to read that book as well. But I really enjoyed reading this book. Anyways, guys, okay, bye. Hope you liked the video, and do read this book, Prisoner of Tehran, a memoir by Marina Nemat.